If you are 45 years old and your retirement account is under this number, you are not broke. But you are in danger. Not because your life is over. Not because you failed, but because the easiest years to build wealth are already behind you. And the scary part is this. Most people do not realize they are behind until catching up becomes painfully hard. They keep telling themselves, I'll get serious next year. Next year after the car is paid off. Next year after the kids are older. Next year after the mortgage feels easier. Next year after the next raise. But at 45, next year is not harmless anymore. Next year has a price. And that price is time. So here is the uncomfortable truth. By age 45, you should ideally have around 4 times your annual income saved for retirement. If you make $60,000 a year, that means around $240,000. If you make $80,000 a year, that means around $320,000. If you make $100,000 a year, that means around $400,000. And if your stomach just dropped, good. Not because you should feel ashamed, but because guessing is over. Let's talk about Mark. Mark is 45. From the outside, he looks fine. He has a job. He owns a home. There is a normal car in the driveway, school bags near the front door, coffee cups in the sink, bills on the counter, and a 401k account he only checks when the market is doing well. Nothing about Mark looks financially broken. But one Saturday morning, while the house is still quiet, Mark opens his retirement app. The number on the screen is $68,000. For a second, he feels okay. Because $68,000 is not nothing. A lot of people have less, some people have zero. But then Mark does the math. He is 45. If he wants to retire around 65, he has about 20 years left. And suddenly, $68,000 does not feel like progress. It feels like a warning light. Because Mark does not need $68,000 to last a month. He needs it to help carry decades. That is the part most people avoid. They do not fall behind in one dramatic moment. They fall behind quietly. One skipped contribution, one credit card balance, one car upgrade, one vacation they could not really afford, one raise that disappeared into a bigger lifestyle, 1 year of saying, I'll start later. Then one day, later becomes your life. And this is why 45 is such a dangerous age financially. You are earning more than before. But you are also spending more than before. The house costs more, insurance costs more, groceries cost more, kids cost more. Your parents may need help. Your body starts sending bills too. And retirement is close enough to scare you, but still far enough that you can ignore it. That is the trap. You are not in crisis yet. So, you delay. But delay is how the crisis is built. The first mistake people make at 45 is confusing net worth with retirement readiness. Mark looks at his house and thinks, I'm doing okay. His home went up in value. He has some equity. On paper, his net worth looks decent. But home equity is not retirement income. You cannot buy groceries with home equity. You cannot pay your electric bill with your living room. You cannot walk into Walmart, hand them your front door, and say, keep the change. To use home equity, you usually have to sell, refinance, downsize, or borrow against your own house. That might help one day, but it is not the same as having invested retirement money working for you. This is why some people feel rich on paper but broke in real life. Their money is trapped in walls, floors, and a roof. The house may protect them, but it may not feed them. The second mistake is comparing yourself to headlines. You see articles saying the average person in their 40s or 50s has a huge net worth, and immediately you think, how is everyone else doing this? Here is the truth. Most people are not secretly rich. Averages get distorted. If one billionaire walks into a room with 9 normal people, The average net worth of that room explodes. But nobody else got richer. That is why the median matters more than the average. The median is closer to real life. And real life is not private jets and paid-off mansions. Real life is mortgage payments, car loans, credit cards, medical bills, kids, groceries, and a retirement account that needs more attention than it gets. So, yes, many people are behind. But do not use that as comfort. Use it as clarity, because being normal does not mean being safe. Normal can still mean retiring stressed. Normal can still mean working longer than you planned. Normal can still mean depending on Social Security more than you should. And that leads to the third mistake: waiting for a rescue. A lot of people at 45 are quietly hoping something will save them. Maybe the next raise. Maybe the house keeps going up. Maybe an inheritance comes. Maybe Social Security is enough. Maybe the kids become independent. Maybe expenses calm down. Maybe next year is finally the year. But maybe is not a retirement plan. Maybe is how people drift. And drifting at 45 is expensive. Because the math does not care about your intentions. The math only cares about what you saved, how long it grows, and how much debt is pulling against it. This is when Mark finally understands the problem. His $68,000 retirement account is not just a low number. It is proof that his system was never serious enough. He contributed sometimes. He increased it when he remembered. He paused when life got expensive. He told himself the house was his retirement plan. He assumed he had more time. And now he still has time. But it is not cheap time anymore. At 45, you still have a window. But it is no longer a relaxed window. From 45 to 65, you have about 20 years. 20 years is enough to change your future, but only if you stop playing around. If Mark keeps doing what he is doing, nothing changes. But if he starts now, the story can still turn. He increases his 401k contribution. He stops treating every raise like permission to upgrade his lifestyle. He attacks high-interest credit card debt. He automates $700 a month into retirement and investments. Not because it is easy. Because the alternative is worse. Over 20 years, that one decision can become hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not with hype. Not with luck. Not with some secret rich person trick. Just boring. Repeated, automatic action. That is how most real wealth is built. Quietly. Consistently. Before the money gets a chance to disappear. And this is the mindset shift most people need. At 45, motivation is not enough. Motivation disappears when the car breaks down. Motivation disappears when your kid needs braces. Motivation disappears when groceries jump again. Motivation disappears when work drains you and you just want one small comfort. You do not need motivation. You need a system. A system moves money before you touch it. A system raises your contribution before lifestyle eats your raise. A system pays down debt before interest turns into another monthly bill. A system checks the numbers even when they scare you. So if you are 45 and behind, here is what you do. First, open everything. Your 401k, your IRA, your savings, your brokerage account, your credit cards, your car loan, your mortgage, your student loans, everything. Do not estimate. Do not guess. Do not say, I'm probably okay. Write down the real number. The truth may hurt for 10 minutes. Avoiding it can hurt for 20 years. Second, separate your retirement money from your paper wealth. Your house may be part of your net worth, but your retirement account is what will carry you later. So look at your real invested retirement savings. That is the number you need to fix. Third, compare your savings to your income. If you make $80,000 and have $70,000 saved, you are not where you should be. That does not make you a failure. It means you are late. And late people need speed. Fourth, increase your contribution now. Not after the holidays. Not after one more vacation. Not when life calms down. Life may not calm down. Start with 1%. Then increase it again in 6 months. Then increase it again when you get a raise. You do not need to fix 20 years in one day. But you do need to stop making the gap bigger. Fifth, kill high-interest debt. If your credit card is charging over 20%, that is not just debt. That is a fire. And you cannot build a retirement plan while the fire is burning through the back door. Sixth, stop lifestyle creep. This is one of the biggest reasons people stay behind. They finally earn more, and immediately their life gets more expensive. A better car, a bigger payment, more subscriptions, more delivery, more vacations, more comfort. Then the raise is gone. A raise should not only upgrade your lifestyle, a raise should buy back your future. Seventh, stop waiting for inheritance, luck, or perfect timing. Do not build your retirement around someone else dying. Do not build it around the market exploding. Do not build it around the government solving everything. That is not a plan. That is hope wearing a suit. And hope is not enough. Now here is the real lesson. If you are 45 and behind, your biggest problem is not math. It is identity. You still think you are the person who has plenty of time. You still think future you will somehow handle it. You still think one big move later can fix years of small delays. But at 45, the game changes. You do not need to panic. But you do need to wake up. Because the next 20 years are not just another 20 years. They are your last major compounding window. The money you invest now can still grow. The debt you kill now can still free you. The habits you build now can still protect you. The contribution you increase now can still change your retirement. But only if you stop waiting for the perfect moment. Mark does not become rich overnight. He does not fix everything by Monday. He does not suddenly become a finance expert. He does something smaller. He opens the account. He faces the number. He increases his contribution. He cancels expenses he does not need. He makes one extra debt payment. He sets the transfer to repeat every month. That is it. No miracle, no drama, no fantasy. Just a grown adult finally deciding not to drift. And that is the point. If you are 45 and have less than 4 times your income saved, yes, you are behind. But behind is not finished. Behind means the plan has to change. Behind means excuses have to expire. Behind means every raise needs a job. Every dollar needs direction. Every year needs urgency. The worst thing you can do at 45 is look at your number and decide it is too late. The second worst thing is never looking at the number at all. Because your future does not need you to be perfect. It needs you to be honest. It needs you to start. And it needs you to stop acting like retirement is still some distant problem that future you will magically solve. Future you is already on the way. And whether that version of you feels trapped or free depends on what you do next. If this made you want to check your number, subscribe. Because most people do not need more shame around money. They need the truth early enough to still do something about it.